Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba podcast. I hope everyone is having a great day, great night, wherever you are around the world. So much to get into on today's show. College football recap this past weekend. What the hell is wrong with Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns? The Red Rivalry Showdown, the Red River Showdown this upcoming weekend with Texas and Oklahoma playing this weekend. Really, really good slate of college football this weekend. Taylor Swift's new album that just came out this past week. We have a guest on today's show, Sports PSP. It's a pleasure to have him on the show. We're going to talk with him about some college football, the NFL, all the recent stuff going on in the NFL. Are the Chiefs, like what's wrong with the Chiefs? Are the Jaguars a real team? Are they a threat? Are they a contender? Drake May's rising stock in the NFL. But without further ado, before we officially get into the show, officially get into the show, make sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, and make sure to follow Sports PSP on Instagram. So it's a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Always a pleasure to be on, man. And also follow me also on TikTok, also on YouTube as well. Sports PSP podcast every Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Not just me. Also check out the great panel, BRF Sports, and of course the big fella from Columbus, Georgia, undisputed world champ. But man, pleasure to be on the pod, man. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm doing great. I'm just super psyched for this episode. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this. I know it was super last minute. I see a Cleveland Cavaliers LeBron James jersey in the background. I see the picture there with Kobe.
Him and Kobe and MJ,
and
yeah.
LeBron. Yeah, I love that picture. But yeah, I'm doing
Thanks,
great.
man.
Yeah, of course, I'm doing great. Super excited for you to do this. Take time out of your day. But I think the first thing we got to talk about is the Patriots and Drake May. Like, there's this special buzz going on right now in the NFL with the Patriots, and I don't know. Like I want to hear your thoughts. Like, are the Patriots officially back? Because the way they played against the Buffalo Bills, they looked like a damn good football team.
They definitely did. I mean, they capitalized on the turnovers. I think the Bills committed like 3 turnovers in that game. And finally, for Drake May, they got him a true number 1 target in Stephon Diggs. What a great statement game from him to be back at Buffalo, your old team, and to put up a great... No, it's all good. Don't worry about it. You're good. And just to put up a great signature performance. I don't know if you guys know, I've been a huge Drake May fan coming out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
I think he had the size, the prototype. Matter of fact, although I love myself some Jaden Daniels because I am a Washington Commanders fan, I actually wanted the Commanders to draft Drake May with the second overall pick.
All right.
Yeah, I was a huge Drake May fan coming out of North Carolina. Mm-hmm. I think he has great arm size, great mobility. And sooner or later, we're going to have discussions. Are the Patriots back? You know, now they've moved on from Bill Belichick. They brought in Mike Vrabel, who's a hell of a coach. Just look at his days in Tennessee. I mean, now you giving Drake May some weapons. I love Ramondre Stevenson out of Oklahoma. He's a physical running back. But again, to add targets for Drake May, and of course with the defense, and with Mike Vrabel there, the emphasis on the defense, I do think that New England, maybe not now, but sooner or later, they could actually challenge Buffalo. The days of Buffalo running away with that division are going to be soon to be gone. And even though, and what was most impressive is how the way they contained James Cook. That was the thing, because Josh Allen has done his part taking care of the football last year. And talk to my man, Undisputed World Champ. He always says, let James cook. And the Patriots didn't allow him to cook that day.
No,
the Patriots,
yeah, absolutely.
But I think the Patriots can actually be a playoff contender. They could possibly make the wild card.
You know, the way I was feeling going into this Patriots season was, I'm a diehard Patriots fan. I had so many great years with Tom Brady. I wasn't concerned. I was more happy that Drake May was going to be able to take that next step. Like we saw in the Raiders game from game 1, he still looked a little shaky in the pocket. The footwork wasn't there. It was a rough weather game. It was week 1. Stephon Diggs obviously wasn't fully healthy. The Patriots still don't have a lot of weapons. That was never their identity. It was always Brady, and that top 10, that ferocious
in the system.
Defense. Yes, exactly. So when you look at this team now, like now you have to sit there and you have to really go off of like other teams in the NFL to look at the Patriots and go, the Patriots are 100% a threat in the NFL. They can beat any team on any given Sunday because of their defense, the way they're coached, the way Mike Vrabel puts himself in these situations, and then Drake May making the throws. Like, if you would have told me, I had no faith in the Patriots beating the Buffalo Bills this past weekend because the way the team is, like, nothing on the offense really excites me, of course, outside of Stephon Diggs. I know they've got Ramondre Stevenson, but they've had fumbling problems this entire season. Now you just saw Antonio Gibson get hurt, but now I'm like, oh no, Drake May is the guy. And like, now it's all about building around Drake May. Of course, they drafted Will Campbell, fourth out of LSU this past draft. Stephon Diggs has taken the next step, and I love it. This Patriots team, they look like a legit team. They really do. I know it's only one game, still have a long season left to go, but if you're sitting,
and you also got Henderson out of OSU.
Henderson was a big pickup. I would love to see some more out of him. And the defense, man, looks legit. Like, Barmore, you got Milton Williams. The free agency signings have panned out so far. Of course, Christian Gonzalez just came back recently from the hamstring injury because he was out for the first 3 games of the season. But this team they looked the part, and it was really good to see. Drake May is that guy. I think everyone knew he was that guy, and thank gosh for Josh McDaniels. Man, he is a savior. The Patriots had him all those years with Tom Brady. So it's a blessing to have McDaniels back as OC. It really is.
Listen, he's best served as an offensive coordinator. I have nothing positive things to say about him as a head coach, but as an offensive coordinator in New England, that's where he's best suited.
And you're absolutely right. And for me, my biggest thing is coming into this season, when they hired Mike Vrabel, actually before the season started, off-season, Mike Vrabel, I'm like, oh, Vrabel, okay, fine. I really wanted Ben Johnson because I was so focused on developing Drake May as a quarterback and getting him to that next level because I knew how talented he was at UNC, and he was very young, and he's still only 22 years old. But Vrabel was the right hire, and it's amazing to see how much different this team looks from last year. Like, one season, they've already almost matched their win total in one season. It's remarkable. It is. I think if they continue to play the way they're playing, Mike Vrabel would be your coach of the year.
I think yes. Although I would give it to Shane Steichen of the Indianapolis Colts at this point.
That's true too.
And also, say what you want, Kyle Shanahan should definitely be up there as far as coach of the year conversations, because the fact that this team is 4-1, and then considering all the injuries that they've had from George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Brock Purdy, I mean, and we'll talk about him later on the show, Mac Jones. Yeah. I think Kyle Shanahan should be more in the conversation for coach of the year. But as far as with New England is concerned, I actually like Mike Vrabel. He leads. He is, like, in some ways kind of reminds me like Dan Campbell. He's going to go for it. He's going to help change the culture. And he's a Patriots guy himself. He used to play for the New England Patriots. So he's going to emphasize the defense. Offense, with Josh McDaniels here, yes, I understand, Joey, you wanted Ben Johnson, and that would have been great because of how much Ben Johnson could do with the offense. And you're seeing somewhat of the potential in Chicago with him and Caleb Williams. Yeah. But I think for Josh McDaniels, as long as he serves as the offensive coordinator, and if you give more talent around Drake May, I think Drake May will be fine. So I think this is a really good step for New England.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to spend too much more on the Patriots. We still have a long season left to go. It's great to see, but everyone's like, oh, the Patriots back. Oh my gosh, it's been so long since they've been. It hasn't really been that long. It's really they've only had 2 down seasons where they were 4-13, 2 seasons in a row, and the season before that they were 8-9. 2021, we made the playoffs at 10-7, wild card with Mac Jones. We got BTA'd by the Buffalo Bills there, but that was the year Mac Jones made the Pro Bowl as an alternate. McDaniels was the OC still. But yeah, other than that, I'm very excited for the Patriots. I love Drake May. He made the throws when it counted the most. And you look at a lot of quarterbacks around the NFL and you go, they're not making some of the throws that he made. I mean, he didn't throw any touchdowns, but he looked damn good. Let's talk about Mac Jones and the 49ers. Aside from the Niners game itself and the Rams, we got to talk about Mac Jones. Like, I personally think Mac Jones is a starter in the NFL. Obviously, I know he had a rough stint in New England other than his rookie year. I want you to chime in as well. The Jaguars time, it wasn't, he was okay. But man, if this is reviving his career, this is it right here. Because I personally think he's a starter. You saw it against the Rams on Thursday night. They didn't have a lot of weapons, and he looked darn good. He really did.
He did. I mean, 33 of 49 for over 300 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He's had 6 touchdowns to 1 interception.
Yep.
He's on pace to throw 20 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. And when you look at Mac Jones, look, Joey, I don't want to be too hard because I know it's New England. I know it's your team, but
right,
I've said this.
It's all good.
New England, Belichick failed them.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
I've heard so many discussions about Mac Jones. You know, he was a bust. You know, he was a product of Alabama. Look,
no,
he was surrounded with so much. Look, two things could be true. He was surrounded with talent at Alabama, but at the same time, you cannot take away from what he did at Alabama.
Absolutely.
I have said this back in 2021 at the time of the NFL draft. When the 49ers moved up in the draft, they should have went with Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Not because Mac Jones was going to be this pantheon great quarterback, but if you wanted to pick style, fit, system, what
Jones.
better candidate than Mac Jones? But they took Trey Lance because obviously 6'4", 237, athleticism, arm, mobility. And that sounds great, but we haven't seen enough from Trey Lance. And now, I mean, he's on his 3rd team. I mean, San Francisco, he was traded to Dallas, I believe, for like a 4th-round pick.
Yep.
Then he goes to now the Chargers. He's now the backup for Justin Herbert.
Yep.
So I hope for Trey Lance's sake, he'll somewhat resurrect his career with Jim Harbaugh there as the head coach. But I can't say any more about Kyle Shanahan as a head coach. Yes, he gets a lot of flack and criticism because of the Super Bowls that he's blown.
Yeah.
But when you think of offensive play callers, there's Sean McVay, there's Andy Reid,
yep,
Ben Johnson, Shane Steichen. Kyle Shanahan is right up there. Yep. And John Lynch as far as an executive. And the fact that they're 4-1, I think that the 49ers, in my opinion, they have a chance of beating the Philadelphia Eagles and getting out of the NFC. Because Green Bay...
you're right. They're so talented. They have such a good... They're going to get Kittle back. McCaffrey's starting to look like Ayuk's coming back as well. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 100%. The NFC is a gauntlet right now. This Bucs game this weekend is going to be a fun one.
It is. And Robert Saleh back after what the hell happened to him in New York. That was a disaster.
That was a New York
but now he's back in San Francisco. Okay, so it's great for the defense. It's great for him. It's great for everyone. And look, Mac Jones, again, he fits the offense. This is helping his campaign for some team to possibly take him for next year in free agency. Now, should he be the starting? Yeah, and I think he should be the starting quarterback for the remainder of the season. Because if this is the type of production and play I'm getting from Mac Jones, even though he's been banged up as well, but at the same time, and I know I paid Brock Purdy a ton of money, but he has had durability issues himself.
Yep.
And when I look at Mac Jones and I look at this offense, they are flourishing. So that says a lot about him as a talent, but it also says a lot about Kyle Shanahan. Because Kyle Shanahan, he can take less tier quarterbacks and make them stars. And when I look at what Kyle Shanahan has done throughout his career in San Francisco, he just finds a way. I do think that the 49ers have the best chance because arguments could be made. Hey, if Brock Purdy had finished the rest of that NFC Championship game, would we have had a different story? I still would have picked Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But I do believe if you have a competent quarterback, and Mac Jones is a competent quarterback with the talent around them, and when they come back, that's the scary part. They're 4-1, and their players are not even back yet. So when they come back, scary.
And that's the thing too. You're absolutely right. The biggest thing for me about Mac Jones is New England, the Patriots failed Mac Jones. It's very obvious now that we've seen that. But there's so many other teams in the NFL who don't know how to manage quarterbacks. The Giants are a perfect example. Like Mac Jones, we were all hoping and praying. Like if you're like Patriots fans, or a lot of Patriots fans just hate Mac Jones because they said that he was terrible, but they don't really understand.
They have Matt Patricia, Joe Judge as offensive coordinators.
They don't understand. But now when you see it, Daniel Jones with the Giants, you had Sam Darnold with the Panthers. Like Baker Mayfield on the Browns, and like they actually go to these teams, and yes, these teams have more weapons, but they're run properly. Like they're not poorly run organizations. Like if I understand why Caleb Williams didn't want to go to the Bears, because they're a shit show of an organization. They hired Ben Johnson, but like when you sit there and you look at it, you go, I don't want to play for that team if I have the choice, right? And now you see it with Mac Jones with the Niners. He's balling out. He's looking like a legit quarterback. And yes, you can say it's a huge testament to Kyle Shanahan, but Mac Jones is not a bad quarterback. He can make the throws. He's got good IQ. He doesn't have the greatest mobility, but yeah, it's great to have mobility in this day in the NFL. But when you're making the throws like that and you're making smart decisions, I definitely think Mac Jones can be a starter.
You can't go wrong with it.
No.
You can't go wrong with it at all. And I just hate when they said that he was a bust, but he was in horrible circumstances in New England.
Yes. Let me ask you this question here. Mac Jones, for example, on the Vikings. Imagine Mac Jones on the Vikings instead of J.J.
with Kevin Sullivan with those types of weapons?
With Kevin
oh, my God.
With Kevin O'Connell. Put Mac Jones.
Kevin O'Connell, I'm sorry.
You're good. Put Mac Jones on the Vikings. Total different team.
Oh yeah, they would actually. I mean, look what he did with. Look what Kevin O'Connell did with Sam Darnold last year.
Right, exactly. So this is a conversation that we have to have, and this is like if the San Francisco 49ers beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this weekend, like if they do, tough game this weekend. I think the Bucs are -2.5 for this weekend. It's a big spot for them. If the 49ers win that game, we've got to have a conversation about Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. We really do, because we're out there to win games. We're not out there to take care of you because of your contract. We're here to win football games. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's and I released a video on my Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Should Mac Jones be the starting quarterback for the remainder of the season? And I think yes.
They won't, but you're right.
Yeah. But my thing is, I understand you paid a ton of money to Brock Purdy.
Yep.
And I understand if you couldn't find anybody else to replace him, because again, who else are you going to find that's comparable? But at the same time, I'm trying to win. Mm-hmm. And if I put Brock Purdy back in, chances are he's going to be rusty and he's going to be injured again. Yep. You want to further jeopardize his career?
Yep. Let me ask you this. So go back to this Rams-Niners game, like actually about the game at the end of the game. I'm sure you watched the game. What do you think? Sean McVay, for example, going for it on 4th and 1 there. What do you think?
I had no problem with it.
Neither did I. I had no problem with that at all. That's the type of coach he is. That's his identity. Now, I didn't like that play call, running it up the gut on 4th and 1 like that, because he's such a creative mind. And he even said, I failed my team and I failed the players calling that play. But that's like it's like a live by the sword, die by the sword type.
I would have thrown the ball in that situation.
I would have too.
I would have thrown the ball in that situation.
I would have. I would have rolled Stafford out to the right, maybe try to find Nakua or something. But running the ball up the gut on
or screen pass to Nakua,
something.
I would have.
Yes,
I had no problem with him going for it on 4th and 1. Did I like the play call by running it up the gut? No. If you wanted to run it, why couldn't you just run it outside? Or to your point, let Stafford bootleg, throw it to Nakua or a screenplay, something like that. And also, you didn't want to go for a field goal because the kicker, he did miss an extra point and a previous field goal. Now, he did hit the field goal to put it to overtime. I understand that, but at the same time, you got to go for it in that situation. But too many miscues by the Rams. I mean, the turnovers, and also Alfred Collins, the defensive tackle from the San Francisco 49ers, made the key play by punching the football out of Kieran Williams' hands.
Yeah, and that was my thing too. I'm like, running the ball there, like I get it. I'm 100% all in going for it on 4th and 1 like that. Go, because you don't want to give the Niners the ball back with the opportunity for them to go down and score when you have the ball in your hands. I wouldn't have taken the ball out of Stafford's hands. He was playing good. They had the receivers were clicking with Devontae Adams and Nakua. I would have 100% thrown the ball. But hey, that's the nature of the NFL. You see the games this past weekend. You had the Vikings and the Browns, the London or the Europe game. Vikings. Dylan Gabriel made his debut. Cowboys beat the Jets 37-22. Dak is looking like an MVP. He really is. The Cowboys offense has been clicking on all cylinders, even without CeeDee Lamb. Broncos with a big upset against the Eagles, coming back down 17-3. Texans beating the Ravens 44-10. I don't really think there's much to talk about the Ravens. I know people are concerned, but Lamar Jackson obviously is hurt right now. The Giants were up against the Saints and they ended up losing that game. Colts really giving the work to the Raiders. We can talk about Geno Smith a little after. Dolphins blowing a 17-point lead to the Panthers. Mike McDaniel's seat's getting hotter and hotter. Bucks Seahawks game, that was one for the ages with the uniforms. Ibuka and JSN both balled out big time. The Titans with the Cardinals game. Wow. What a comeback for the Titans, down 21-6 in the fourth quarter. Fumble bouncing off Kyler Murray's head. DeMercado fumbles the ball in the end zone. That whole thing.
To which Jonathan Gannon even had to punch him and was fined, I think. Wasn't he fined like $100,000?
$100,000 was fine. Commanders, Chargers, Jaden Daniels is back. They looked like the part again. Lions, Bengals. Obviously, you had the Bengals just trade for Joe Flacco. We'll talk about that. But Patriots, Bills we talked about. And then Jaguars,
Chiefs, Jaguars.
Win 21-8, which we'll talk about. But Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, when I first saw that yesterday, I started laughing and I said, we talked about this on the show last week. I said, if I'm the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm giving Kirk Cousins or Russell Wilson a call. Fine, if you want to throw Jameis Winston in that mix as well. Not one of them get a call? Joe Flacco? Joe Flacco? Really? Come on.
Isn't this a testament to how cheap Mike Brown is?
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. But for me, when I saw that, I'm like, Joe Flacco,
laughable.
All quarterback, like embarrassing.
He's 40 years old. He's not the most mobile quarterback in the world. Now, he will have targets to throw the football to, but at the same time, behind that offensive line, given his lack of mobility, he's probably going to have to either him or Jake Brown. I go with Jake Browning for one more game or two. But if Jake Browning, and like I said, and people thought that Jake Browning coming in, he'll do just fine. Cincinnati's offense is not going to be the same without Joe Burrow.
Of course.
And then when you look, and then I don't understand. I mean, I don't get it. It makes no sense. But again, it's Mike Brown as an owner. I think he's too cheap to get one of these types of quarterbacks in Kirk Cousins, because we know Kirk Cousins has made a ton of money in his career. So I don't think he wants to pay Kirk Cousins. I rather would have gone with Jameis Winston. Hell, fuck it. I'd rather.
Yeah. If you're the New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals call you on the phone and say, "Hey, we got a deal here. We're interested in Russell Wilson." If you're the Giants, are you taking that? Like, are you giving up Russell Wilson to the Bengals? See, I think
I'd rather do it because I've moved.
The Giants would say no.
But to me, if I'm the Giants, listen, you already cooked Russell Wilson. You already gave Russell Wilson out the door just to go with Jackson Dart. We knew at some point in time. But
my thing with here is Joe Flacco, out of all people, like, you can't find anyone else in the fucking NFL than Joe Flacco. Like, okay, testament to them being cheap, but like, there's got to be somebody else out there than Joe Flacco.
Think about it, Joey. Don't you think of the fact that Cincinnati, that it took him that long to sign that first round pick, Stewart?
Shamar Stewart, yeah.
Shamar Stewart. They are that incompetent as an organization, and of all quarterbacks that you could possibly think of, you go with Joe Flacco. Not Jameis, not anyone out there who's available. Not even Tyrod Taylor, not even somebody else that you can possibly think of, but Joe Flacco. Only good thing for Joe Flacco is that he still has a strong enough arm. So I like it for Jamar Chase or T. Higgins, but I would much rather go with Jameis Winston. I understand Jameis Winston, the 30 for 30. He's the high risk, high reward, but look, you're going to put up fantasy football numbers. If you're Jamar Chase, fantasy football numbers for days, as well as T. Higgins.
The Browns didn't even call the Giants. They didn't even give them a ring. They didn't even say, hey, we might be, like, is Jameis Winston available? Nothing? Joe Flacco? And he's in the same division in the AFC North? It just makes zero sense. And like you said, this is why the Bengals have been a laughingstock. And they made that one Super Bowl, and they have nothing to show for it. They're very lucky to have Joe Burrow. They would be like the Cleveland Browns without Joe Burrow, or like the Titans or the Jags.
But if you're Cincinnati,
but like, it's an embarrassing.
But if you're Cleveland, without Joe Burrow, without Joe Flacco's leadership and mentorship and guidance, how's Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders going to proceed.
They got Deshaun Watson. He's on the sideline.
That's not helping.
I'm not saying it is, but do you really think Joe Flacco is sitting there and helping those young quarterbacks out? Because I don't, because he was saying this offseason it's more of a competition than anything. Now he's gone. But
well, I mean, I'm quite sure he had to do something, whether in the film room or something, to help them out, because and by the way, Dylan Gabriel, to his credit, I thought he played manageable. I thought he looked solid. I thought he did what he was supposed to. I think for Cleveland, in order for you to flourish, just hand the ball off to Quinshawn Judkins, and then when necessary, Judkins, and then take some chances. But for Cincinnati, I don't understand it other than Mike Brown's incompetency and cheapness. It's a laughable trade. I mean, considering the fact that you're still trying. I mean, you're what, 2-3, 2-2 this season. You're still trying to compete, and this is the best that you.
They lost to the Lions. Yeah, they lost to the Lions.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. 2-3, and this is the best that you can come up with. I mean, Joe Flacco at this point. I mean, you're just giving me old rotten milk.
Yes, exactly. Let me ask you this before we move on from the Browns and the Bengals and that whole drama there with Dylan Gabriel. Do you think the Cleveland Browns will draft a quarterback after this season? Because I personally do.
I think they have to draft offensive linemen.
So you think they're going to roll with either Gabriel or Shedeur?
Probably so, because when you look at this quarterback class, I mean, we'll talk about Arch Manning later on in the show. I think he should stay another year, in my opinion.
There's no way he declares. There's no way. No way.
Drew Allar, I mean... No.
Lenora Sellers. Lenora Sellers. I don't know if Dante Moore, Carson Beck. I mean, Carson Beck could very well be the option.
Yeah, I think I'm Cleveland, and if I'm unsure about this draft class, I might as well go with Gabriel or Shedeur. Meanwhile, I focus on other needs with the offense, such as offensive line, and maybe another wide receiver.
Do you think
because they have?
Do you think the Browns at some point are going to give Shedeur a shot this season? Like this season going on right now, is it Dylan Gabriel from here on out, or is Shedeur going to get a shot at some point down the road here?
Some point he will get an opportunity.
So I believe you think that Dylan Gabriel won't be the starter for the rest of the season?
Yes.
Okay, fair. That's all I needed to know. Let's talk about Geno Smith. He has been terrible. 1-4.
Did you see Damian Lillard?
Yes, I saw him. We need to trade for Shedeur. Well, he's just talking out of his ass. I totally understand it, but like, is there any way, shape, or form like Geno Smith continues to play this way, he gets benched? Because I think he could get benched if he continues to play the way he's been playing.
Who's the backup?
Kenny Pickett.
You might as well, if Geno continues to play like this, fuck it. Just go with Kenny Pickett.
That's what I'm saying. Geno Smith has been terrible. Like, he's been awful. And everyone was trying to tell me that Geno Smith is this really good quarterback, and he's this, and he's that. And I'm like, last year was Geno Smith's offensive line was the excuse because the Seahawks had a terrible offensive line. This year, he looks even worse than he did last year. And he's got Pete Carroll. And they have they don't have a ton of weapons. Obviously, Brock Bowers was hurt last game, but even in the Patriots game
Ashton Jeanty
in the Bears game, he looked rough. Like, I don't know what's wrong with Geno Smith because he's not that good.
Not at all. And I think it's best if you're the Raiders. I mean, bench them. But if you're the Raiders, do you mind it? Because again, is this your way of trying to get yourself a quarterback for 2026?
That's what I'm saying. So like I always thought Geno Smith was a bridge quarterback, and I still do. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, other than that year he had in Seattle in 2022, the first year without Russ, yeah, I can't agree more.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like the Raiders knew what they were signing up for when they signed Geno Smith. Like, I personally thought the Raiders were going to win probably 6 games this year, maybe 7 if they were lucky. We talked about this back on the offseason. They have 1 win. They probably beat the Titans this weekend because the Titans are not very good, unfortunately. I think Cam Ward's the guy, but the team that the offense itself isn't very good. Their defense is good, but Callahan needs to go. We understand that, but maybe they turn the corner after beating the Cardinals this past weekend. But I personally don't see that. The Raiders probably pick up the win this weekend. But
Right.
yeah, let's talk about the Jaguars and the Chiefs. That Monday night game. The the Chiefs were up 14-0 in the game. It looked like they were going to run away with it. The tush push by the Jags in the end zone. They fumbled. And you had the end zone touchdown at the game. Trevor Lawrence trips, he falls, he's up, he scores. Chris Jones is literally walking like he didn't even want to be on the field. But Chiefs being 2-3, are you concerned? Because I'm not.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I have issues with their special teams. They gave up way too many penalties.
Right.
Then Mahomes, overall, outside of that pick six, I don't know what he was thinking on that play. The pick six, that was an awful play. I have concerns about. Look, I think they'll get better. Obviously, the Rashee Rice will come back after this week's game, coming off the 6-game suspension.
Mm-hmm.
But really disappointing if you're Kansas City. I mean, on that play, Chris Jones, I don't know if he was discombobulated or he was tired or fatigued on that last play.
Right.
But Liam Cohen should be considered as far as with Coach of the Year. I mean, considering the job that he's doing for Tampa Bay. Yeah, another candidate as well. But I was mostly concerned about Kansas City with their special teams. I mean, I still think Mahomes is capable of getting them to the playoffs, making a playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
I was really disappointed with the special teams. I mean, you're giving up way too many penalties. You're giving them too many opportunities. And look, Harrison Butker, that kick
at the end there, yeah,
you gave. I mean, a minute 45, and then on top of a minute 45, and then they start at the 40-yard line. And you can't keep giving up costly penalties. I thought Trevor looked really well. The interception that he threw, I thought that was PI on the part of Trent McDuffie.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the fact that Travis Hunter was going. I mean, I did like that incredible catch that he made.
That was a hell of a catch.
So I would like, I think he's better off with the offense than he is at DB. That's what I think.
I agree with you. I'm glad we brought that up. Personally, I'm really glad we brought this up because this is something I really wanted to talk about. I didn't write it down, but it's been on my mind. Travis Hunter needs to play wide receiver full time. I understand he's great at corner. I understand he's great at wide receiver, but this isn't the MLB. This is not Shohei Ohtani where you get to use both. This is a physical aspect. This is a physical type sport. It's the NFL. I think he's more utilized best at wide receiver because of for an explosiveness type sense. Personally, look at the catches that he made. Look at the plays that he made. I think at corner, he's not undersized, but when he was lined up against Travis Kelce, he made the one play, but I thought they could have called holding or interference there. I think he's best used at wide receiver. With a duo of him and Brian Thomas, it'd be insane. And
Brian Thomas has had drop problems this season. Yeah. So I think when you have someone like Travis Hunter, it can kind of like offset or balance that. So, and plus you can use him in run plays, some run option plays, some screen plays. I actually like that for Travis Hunter because of how versatile he is, and he takes somewhat of the pressure off of Trevor Lawrence. So, exactly. And plus, with an offensive coordinator, with a head coach, and a former offensive coordinator like Liam Cohen, I actually like it. That's where Travis Hunter best fits on the offensive side of the football.
Yep.
But with Kansas City, I am kind of concerned, though, with the penalties. I don't know what type of offense am I going to get from them. Their offense so far has looked better than the past couple of weeks, particularly week 1 and week 2.
Their offense looked good this past game more than anything. Like the Eagles game, it looked very, very lifeless. But they also got back Xavier Worthy as well, so that gives them that perimeter type speed guy over the top. So that helps. And new guys. So I'm with you 100%.
I do like Thornton. Thornton does add.
He's an expatriate. He's an expatriate. I don't know how much more playing time he'll get once Rashee Rice comes back, but it's been nice to see him actually utilized, and he's got a lot of potential. I'm with you on that one.
Yes, but I do like Thornton though. As far as like another perimeter threat, and obviously he's not the speedster that Xavier Worthy is, but he doesn't mind making physical type of catches from time to time.
But he can fly. I mean, you got to give credit to Devin Lloyd though with that 99-yard pick six. I was like.
Yes.
he leads the NFL in interceptions, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I
Devin
think
Lloyd.
so. I'll probably look it up.
Yeah, he's the Jaguars defense though. I mean, they impressed me. They really did, because I'm the type of person where lately, like obviously last year the Jaguars with Jaguars, but like they've turned a corner, and Liam Cohen has been a really good head coach, and I still don't think Trevor Lawrence is that good. I don't really know what to make of him. Like, he makes the throws, he's got the legs, his decision making is still very, very sketchy at times, but overall they've looked good. And I think adding Travis Hunter to that dynamic has been huge.
Yes, really Devin Lloyd does lead the NFL in interceptions.
Yeah, their offensive line is still shaky, but their defense looked good, and you got to give credit where credit is due. They beat the Chiefs. They were down 14-0. They came back. The Chiefs kind of got a little complacent there, and that was an electric end for the Jags. I mean, the Jags have the only time they've ever been good was the AFC Championship they made against the Patriots in the Bortles era with it was Bortles, it was Allen Robinson, Jalen Ramsey, Miles Jack, like that whole team.
Oh, Jacksonville, the year when they went to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, and the Patriots came back down 10, I'm pretty sure, in the fourth quarter. We came back, and Brady lit that defense up in the fourth quarter. And yeah, that Jacksonville team was good. So it's good to see, especially being from Florida down here. It's nice to see a Florida team do good, of course, outside of the Bucs and the Dolphins are ass. But the Jags, like, good for them, man, because they've been terrible for so long. But Mahomes was Mahomes. Outside of that interception, I thought he had a great game. Outside of the interception, he was spectacular. The run plays he was making, some of the throws, he made that one jump throw over the middle. I mean, I think, like you also said, the penalties, they got flagged 13 times, their worst penalty totals in a long time. So the kickoff mistake that they made was big, but for the most part, I thought it was a great game. But we'll try to highlight a few of these NFL Week 6 games. Of course, you got the Eagles and the Giants tomorrow night. Eagles -6.5. Giants on the Eagles at Giants. So that'll be a good game. I don't know the health of Saquon Barkley. We're figuring that out, but the Eagles would definitely be pissed off with that game. Their divisional game, Jackson Dart. What do you got? Do you got the spread?
I got Eagles.
You got the Eagles covering the spread, or do you got the Giants?
Yes, I think I have the Eagles covering the spread. I have the Eagles win this one
-6.5.
probably 27-13.
Really?
I think yeah, I mean, Saquon, an opportunity for him to be back at home in New York. I think this is a type of statement game that he needs to have. A lot of problems with the offensive coordinator because yeah, I can't remember his name. I keep forgetting his name of the Eagles offensive coordinator. I think it's like, but the problem is they're putting too much pressure on Jalen Hurts. You know, obviously there's frustrations with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I thought Jalen Hurts against Denver actually looked really good. He made some big-time throws, the deep balls to Devontae Smith. He also made one beautiful deep ball to Jahan Dotson that was ruled incomplete. But overall, I mean, they did have a 17-3 lead.
Yeah, they did.
And for whatever reason, Denver just found ways. And now Denver's starting to heat up and starting to look like the team. And Bo Nix,
was going to be. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Bo Nix.
And then I still have concerns about the Eagles because remember a couple of weeks ago, Jalen Carter, I think one of the coaches said that he's still not in great shape or great condition. Mm-hmm. So there is kind of frustrations about that. But I still think that the Eagles will manage to win this game. Unfortunately for the Giants, no Malik Neighbors. So you're going up against that type of defense. The best thing, I think, in order for Brian Daboll, look, despite the fumble, I love what I'm seeing from Cam Scatterboot. Mm-hmm. I love I mean, he's physical. Undisputed world champ said it best. He has the perfect, he said, it's like Mike Alstott and Christian McCaffrey. If Mike Alstott and Christian McCaffrey had a baby, it's Cam Scatterboot.
That's good. I like that. That's a good one there. You don't get
that that's often. What Champ actually told me. Yeah, it's what he said on the pod.
I like that. I like that. That's a good one there. So, Eagles, Giants, who do I got? I picked the Eagles last week and I got shit and I thought they were going to win. I was like the one week I picked the Eagles because I basically picked against them all season.
You're picking the Giants?
Nope. I'm picking the Eagles. I said the last week I picked the Eagles, and I wanted to pick the Broncos because my co-host he's an Eagles fan through and through. Big Eagles fan. Shout out to the Couch Reports. But Okay, I gotta have some fun with this one. I think the Eagles win this game, but I think the New York Giants cover the +6.5 spread. I think divisional game at home. Yeah, I think so. I
Fair
think the
enough.
Eagles will win this game, but I think the Giants will cover just because these two teams know each other so well. I know the Eagles have a sour taste in their mouth after blowing that 14-point lead to the Broncos this past weekend. But the Giants will also be upset as well from losing to the Saints where they were up 14-3 in the first quarter. So I think that they cover this spread, and I think Jackson Dart plays a little better than he did than this past Sunday. But hey, man, if the Giants beat the Eagles, oh, that would be awesome. I would love it. I can't stand the Eagles. I hate their fans.
I can't I can't stand. Which fan base, Joey, is worse in your opinion, Eagles or Cowboys?
Oh, Eagles for sure. Because Cowboys fans are like Yankees fans where they understand that they have so much history and they can ride off of that. The Eagles don't have any history like that. They won two Super Bowl, or they win one or two. They won two Super Bowls, right? Because they won the 18.
They won two Super Bowls.
They won two. God forbidness, I messed that up. Yes, Eagles fans 100% are the worst fans in the NFL and pretty close to all of sports because they're so passionate about their fan base and they love riding that like hard grit mentality. But yeah, Eagles fans are way worse than Cowboys. What would you say?
Cowboys, because they're so delusional. They are. I'm sorry, they are.
Yeah, they are. But like,
but the thing is, they keep giving Jerry Jones. They keep giving so many passes to Jerry Jones.
Yeah, he flicked
for
off
so long.
He flicked off the fans this past weekend. That was funny.
Yeah, and as a result, he was fined 6 figures, which no surprise, no big deal for Jerry because obviously he's worth he's a billionaire. Cowboys are worth what 10, 14 billion. Yeah, it was kind of funny though. But my thing is with the Cowboys, their fans, they're so delusional because they act like every single year they're going to compete, they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You said they're like Yankees, they're also like Lakers fans as well too.
I'm a Patriots and a Yankees fan, by the way. Just throwing that out there. I don't know if you knew that. I'm actually a New York.
No, that's not a problem. Oh, that's not a problem for me. I know plenty of Cowboys fans who are like Knicks fans, and Knicks fans are kind of annoying to me from time to time too.
One of my best friends is a Cowboys and a Yankees fan.
But I think I think Cowboys fans, they're just so annoying, and they give Jerry Jones like so many excuses and passes. Like one of my good friends whose birthday is coming up real soon. Happy birthday. Mm-hmm. He is a diehard fan. It's like he is Jerry Jones' publicist. Because whenever someone brings up Jerry Jones, the mistakes that he's made, the press conferences, or even when he tried to draft Johnny Manziel in the draft, but then Stephen Jones, his son, talked him out of it by going with Zach Martin, he'll continuously make excuses and passes for Jerry Jones because he looks at Jerry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the one thing about the Cowboys though is they do draft really well. Like that's one thing I'll say. Like they are not like they drafted Tyler Booker this past year. They drafted CeeDee Lamb. Like they've made some good draft decisions. Like Dak was a 4th round pick. Like obviously they haven't won a Super Bowl with Dak, but like they've Ezekiel Elliott. Like he's now older, of course. Zach Martin. So like they've made good decisions, I think, drafting wise. Like if you look at the Cowboys as a whole, like their organization is run properly. Jerry Jones is just Jerry Jones, right? Micah Parsons, now he's not on the team anymore. But imagine if the Cowboys and the Yankees won a championship in the same calendar year. You know how crazy the world would be?
The world would be ecstatic.
No one would be able to live it down.
But the same thing, just like you mentioned with all the draft picks with the Cowboys, we can't argue the Eagles. I mean, from Jordan Davis,
they draft extremely well too. Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, they've got it on lock up there. They do,
and he's the best. And Howie Roseman, say what you want, he's the best executive in football, in my opinion, because he makes spectacular, wild moves. I'm like, how the hell does he continuously get away with this type of shit? Like, how does he make all these moves?
Well, they would have got back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson Jr., Florida Gator alumni, if it wasn't for the new rule where if you cut a player before a certain amount of weeks, the team that originally had him can't get him back. I saw that from the Texans. So if that clause or rule wasn't in place, he would already be on the Philadelphia Eagles, and now he signed with the Ravens.
Easily.
But that's
matter of fact,
yes.
Here's where I will defend Jerry Jones on it. Because I don't know if you heard the report. the Eagles were willing to give up mad draft compensation so that they can try to get Micah Parsons.
Yeah, Jerry Jones would never do it. I would never, as a GM.
But it was smart.
Owner,
but it was smart on Jerry Jones' part because of all
Hell
places,
yeah.
why would I trade him to my arch rival team?
Yeah,
I can understand. Right. Even though you would have gotten much more draft compensation, but at the same time, I'm not going to trade him to the team in my division where I have to see him twice a year in a different uniform. Now with the Packers, I get 2 first-round picks and a solid defensive tackle. No shit, you would have gotten that with any. No shit, obviously you would have gotten that for Michael Parsons. But my thing is with Jerry continuously puts. He's the problem with Dallas. No one can question his draft moves. 100%. No one can question the decisions that he's made. The problem is, it seems like he's the owner, the general manager, the spokesman, the ambassador, the president. He puts a lot of pressure on these players and how they're run. And look, to Brian Schottenheimer's credit, he's done a terrific job calling the plays on offense. Because I had my skepticism about him.
I did too.
But the problem is their defense. They're just as bad as Baltimore's Matt Eberflus.
They are the
so it's crazy.
They're the 2024 Cincinnati Bengals. But let's run these down real quick. Broncos, Jets. Broncos -7.5. That's going to be tough because, I mean, Justin Fields, Broncos, obviously they beat the Eagles this past weekend. Those games are weird. You would think it's an easy one, but I think the Broncos win this game, but the Jets cover the +7.5. That's what I'm going with. What do you got?
I got Broncos.
Okay. I got Broncos. You got Broncos covering the spread?
Both.
Okay, Broncos cover the spread. Broncos win. Okay. Browns, Steelers. Steelers -5.5. Browns at Steelers. Oh, I think the Steelers win this game by 5.5. Yes. I'm rolling with it. What do you got?
Steelers win this game, but I don't think they'll cover the spread.
Okay, so you got
because I think the Browns defense has been pretty underrated though.
Fair. They have. They really have. Cardinals, Colts. Colts -6.5. That's tough. I don't know.
Colts win, but I don't think they cover the spread though, because again, what type of offense that we're going to get? I believe Arizona's offense will be much better than what you saw from them last week against Tennessee.
Yes, I agree with that. Rams, Ravens, I really can't say anything because we don't know if Lamar Jackson's playing or not, but if he doesn't play, then that's an easy -7.5. You just saw the Texans come in and BTA, then 44 to 10
Rams
past week. Yeah.
Rams, and considering their defense is so awful.
This Seahawks-Jaguars game, Jaguars -1.5. This is going to be a good-ass game. Oof, man. Darnold, Trevor Lawrence. Oof, Jaguars. That's such a tough spread. The Seahawks could win this game outright.
Seahawks win, but I don't think they're covering the spread. I think it's going to be a very close game, though.
So you got the Seahawks to win out. You got the Jaguars to win, or do you got the Seahawks to win?
No, I have the Seahawks winning, but I don't think the Seahawks will cover the spread.
Jaguars are favored because they're home.
Yes.
So you got the Seahawks to win outright. Okay, good. Cowboys, Panthers. Rico Dowdle revenge game. I think the Cowboys cover the spread -2.5.
I have the Panthers winning this one.
I can't trust the Panthers. I don't know what Panthers team I'm getting from week to week.
I have the Panthers winning this one.
That wouldn't be a bad. That honestly, I could very well see that. The Cowboys, they're another team where it's like you never know what you're going to get. We know what their offense is going to be. We just don't know what their defense is going to show up.
Dak has been playing this well outside of that one game against Chicago, but do we expect him to continuously play like this? And then furthermore, it is the Cowboys. Cowboys will occasionally do cowboy things.
I know.
And then on top of that, their defense, which has been a huge question mark throughout this season, Rico Dowdle, who's coming off a magnificent game against Miami, he's facing his arch rival team. And Bryce Young, no one's expecting much from him at this point.
No.
Possibility.
Chargers, Dolphins. If anything, that spread is weird for me, -4.5. I think the Dolphins could cover the spread. I still think the Chargers win this game. However,
I agree.
I'm taking the over, if anything. Niners at Bucks. That's such a toss-up, but I got to roll with the Bake Show. The Bucks have looked hot. They've looked. That's what I got to go with. Titans, Raiders.
I agree too.
Titans Raiders, I don't care about that much. Patriots Saints, I gotta roll with my Patriots -3.5. Gotta take the Patriots out. I think it'll be a sloppy game because it's in NOLA. They're coming off the big win against Buffalo, but for some reason, I still think they win this game and they cover. I would be very disappointed if they lost this game because the next 3 games are an absolute lollipop of a schedule. Bengals
Right.
Packers should cover this spread. I don't know what we don't. Bengals are.
No,
That's a lot of points.
I would not be. I would be surprised if Michael Parsons does not at least get 2.5, 3 sacks.
I either see the Packers blowing the Bengals out, or somehow it's a close game, or not close, but it's a 10-point game. It's kind of like in between. It's either a 10-point game or it's a 21-point game. But the Bengals
13.
Offense, yeah. So the Bengals cover. Bills Falcons, Bills -4.5. I think the Bills win this game and they cover the spread, especially coming off the loss against the Patriots this past weekend.
Which leads to the Bears Commanders game, which that's a tricky one for me.
Caleb Williams, I agree with you on that. That's very, very tough. What do you got? I'll let you take the lead on this one.
I'm concerned because even though Jaden Daniels has been back, he has been looking like a sophomore slump, and Chicago's offense has been starting to click a little bit lately, especially the games against Dallas and the Raiders. Washington's defense is much better than those 2 teams defensively. As long as they could put pressure on Caleb Williams, and because we saw what we did against the Chargers offensive line, but remember, no Slater, no Joe Alt.
Nope.
So, and the Bears offensive line is revamped. I have the Bears winning this one slightly, but I don't see them covering the spread because it is at Washington.
I agree with that. Let's get into college football, college football, and then we'll talk a little entertainment, and then that will end the show. But we got to talk about Texas and Penn State losing. If you would have told me Penn State would have lost to UCLA, I would have said you're absolutely crazy. But James Franklin has continued to be an embarrassment. This is like ridiculous how you're losing to UCLA on the road, and like you just knocked yourself out of the playoffs. And then Drew Aller, of course, after the game was asked, do you guys think you're still a playoff team? And he goes, what do you think? Do you really asking that right now? What makes Penn State a playoff team? You just lost to UCLA. It's embarrassing. You lost to Oregon the week before in a close game, but to sit here and tell me you lost to UCLA on the road? Come on. With all
you
the
think
money,
it's time for James Franklin to be fired?
Yeah, I thought it was time for James Franklin to be fired last year, but I still don't think they're going to do it. I really don't. Penn State is like committed to this guy for some reason. But then again, the question remains is who are you going to go get, right? But he can't win the big game. Like if you're a coach in college football and you can't win the big games and you have this horrible record against ranked opponents, why are we have you as our coach? You've been here for 12 seasons now, and what have they had to show for it? They made the
seems like they picked
last year.
It seems like because they like him, because of the type of person that he is, both on and off the football field. But my thing is to the point,
winning you games.
No, that's my argument. And Champ and I, we did a video on this. His record, I'm reading it right here, the AI overview. His record against top 25 teams at Penn State is 15-28 as of the 2024 season, and his record against top 10 teams is even worse, 4-21.
4-21, exactly. That was after they lost to Oregon last weekend. So what is it like? What is it like? I have the same exact question with Billy Napier, who saved his job last weekend. As everyone says, I'm a Florida Gator guy through and through. He saved his job last weekend against Texas. Okay, but you can't win the big games. Okay, they beat Texas last weekend. I never thought Texas was even that good. After watching them against Ohio State, I know it was week 1. They didn't impress me. They haven't impressed me all season. Arch Manning, I feel like, has a long way to go. But sticking here on James Franklin, it's an embarrassment.
I think he needs to go, because I think if this is the type of record that you're going to continuously see from James Franklin, I'm sorry. Penn State, you have standards, and you've come up short. And we're talking about Ohio State, we're talking about Oregon, we're talking about Michigan. This is not accustomed to Penn State. I mean, for a while, for a time, you finally have a big time quarterback, a 5-star quarterback in Drew Aller, and the offense looks relatively pedestrian.
It's really, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's really frustrating to watch. I watched the UCLA Penn State game. I had it on in the multi-view, and I watched that game. And there was a clip on Instagram that I saw. They were the announcers, Gary Danielson, and he was saying the clock management from Penn State before the half was embarrassing. They had 3 timeouts and they look like a pee-wee football team the way they were running plays but before the first half. James Franklin, you're the head coach of the team and you're allowing that. You shouldn't even be in a game with UCLA. I know Nico Yamaviava is not a bad quarterback, and maybe that UCLA's coach was just that bad, and their offensive coordinator was praised like he was Rudy throughout the game, and after the game, the walk-off stuff. But I'll be damned to use to UCLA in the play calling like that. You're in a scrap fight.
But Joey, think about it. This was the same UCLA team that went 0-3 in the first 3 games and fired their head coach Deshaun Foster.
Right.
Then Nico, we talk about how bad Arch Manning has been in college football. Nico ain't much better.
No,
and they still losing that game. Yeah, yeah, definitely. You can make an argument. Look at how the score was in the first half.
My thing about this too, this I just thought of. Nico went to UCLA, left Tennessee. Did he really think that was going to be a good decision? Like, he really thought he was going to turn around UCLA's program? They haven't done anything in years.
Like, I think he just did it because of NIL, and plus he's from Cali. But other than that,
there's no
Joey Aguilar,
there's
their quarterback in.
Yes, there's no way Nico stays after this year. No way. No.
He's gonna have to. Well, he's gonna have to go somewhere else. But the question is,
if Dante Moore declares, I'm just throwing this out there. If Dante Moore does declare, don't be surprised if Nico goes to Oregon. Do not be surprised.
No, I can understand that because again,
I could
Big
very
Ten,
well see that.
Oregon, you know,
Dan Lanning, he's built a powerhouse over there. I could very well see that. And I didn't think Dante Moore was going to be this good for Oregon. Did you?
I knew that he had talent. I didn't think he was going to be this good right away.
He was at
but
UCLA.
You got to give credit. Yeah, and he was in UCLA. I mean, shocking.
Exactly.
But Nico, either he could go to Oregon. Who knows? Maybe he can go back to the SEC because again, how is unless John Mateer is going to stay for another year, which he could possibly enter the NFL draft.
I very well see he wants the West Coast, like you said. He's a California guy. His family's out there. Could very well see Oregon. But we got to talk about Texas and Arch Manning. Obviously, my Florida Gators beat Texas. DJ Lagway finally played the best game of his of the season so far. For this, played the best game of the season for him. Was a big win. But man, Dallas Wilson, did you catch any of that? He is that guy. Oh man, it was a breath of fresh air to see a Florida receiver do that well as a freshman. Vernell Brown III has been great for us, but Dallas Wilson, he's a special talent, man. I just really hope Florida can keep him because he was supposed to go to Oregon and then he transferred. Man, he was special to watch on that field. It was a breath of fresh air to see them. But Arch Manning in Texas, you were the number 1 preseason ranked team in the country, and you have looked like one of the worst teams that are out of all the competitive teams. All that money you spent, and that's what you put out on the field, they're not that good. They really aren't. They probably, I don't know if John Mateer plays this weekend. They're still waiting, right? Because he has the hand injury, but they said that he had the surgery, but it's still up in the air.
The surgery went well, but I don't think he's going to play. So they're going to go with the backup quarterback, Michael Hawkins. And not only that, you're dealing with Oklahoma's defense with Brett Venables. If you thought what Oklahoma did to Jackson Arnold, I mean, they sacked him, like 10 times in that game against Auburn?
Arch Manning was sacked 7 times and 6 or 7 times.
So imagine what Oklahoma's going to do.
So that's what I'm saying. And Florida was something. This game is at Jerry's World, or Jerry World. But if I'm a Texas fan, I am just completely in disarray from where they were to the beginning of the season, to all the preseason hype, to all this and all that. They don't look anything like that. And Arch Manning, has made the throws. It's not like he hasn't made the throws, but their offensive line looked terrible in that Florida game. And his decision-making, too, is very skeptical, and I just have not seen it with Arch Manning yet. I really haven't. That's how I feel about it.
I agree. I just think Texas pretty much overhyped. I think a lot of pressure because of, again, the last name. Because again, when they think Manning, they think, oh, he's the grandson of Archie Manning. He's the nephew of Peyton and Eli. So because of the last name and how much that last name carries a lot of weight, they expect him to step in right away and be this pantheon quarterback. He needs to stay for another year at Texas in order for 100%. Him to fully develop. This is his first full year as a starter. So I'm going to give him some grace. Because look at Nico. and he has transferred. So if we're going to criticize Nico and give him grace, I think why not give Arch Manning some grace as well? But I think Texas, for the most part, is pretty much overrated because of the program, the fact that they're in the SEC, coming off the playoffs, coming off the SEC championship game, losing to Georgia. So I think that really has a lot to do with it.
If I were to ask you right now, this is just on my mind because Florida State and Miami played this past weekend, and Ohio State gave Minnesota belt to ass. If Ohio State and Miami were to play right now in this season at this moment, is Miami better than Ohio State, or is Ohio State better than Miami?
Tough to say.
I think Miami. You got to give the nod with Carson Beck and the way they've played. Ohio State,
not just Carson Beck, but also with C.J. Daniels and also the freshman Malachi
Toney. Yes, but I'm saying like just that as a more like, yes, we understand Ohio State's team as a roster standpoint could be arguably the best in the country. But if I'm picking a game right now, or right now in a 1-game set, like if this is it, Miami beats Ohio State hands down. Yes, because I don't trust Julian Sayin. I know what I'm getting out of Carson Beck. Obviously, I know Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, Carnell Tate. They've got a really good team. But I think Miami has the edge over Ohio State. And I think that they'll meet if they were to play. You have Oregon as well, but I think Miami has the nod right now. I think Miami's the best team in the country right now.
I would give Ohio State the slight edge because of coaching. Listen, we can criticize Ryan O'Day for all we want in terms of him not getting the job done against Michigan. But I think him winning the national championship, finally getting somewhat of that monkey off his back, I definitely think that will help. There are skeptics.
This season now, though, are you taking Ohio State or like right now at this exact moment?
Right now, for the purpose of right now, I would lean towards Miami because how well Carson Beck has been playing.
Yep.
Like you can actually make a case right now. If the season ended today, Carson Beck may win the Heisman.
Yeah.
I mean, there's him. Yep. There's Ty Simpson out of Alabama. And remember, Alabama, after losing to FSU, finally they're starting to get their act together after the back-to-back victories against Georgia and Vanderbilt.
Yep. Yeah, big wins. Yeah, they beat Vanderbilt and they covered the spread. I see. Yeah, Ty Simpson has looked good. I was giving Ty Simpson a lot of shit in that FSU game. But then again, everyone overreacts with college football. It was 1 week, and it was week 1. We don't know what.
And Ryan Williams has had drops this season,
and we didn't know what team obviously everyone thought Florida State was going to lose and Alabama was going to dominate them. Personally, I did as well. But it's 1 game of the season, and it's the first week, so it's really hard to judge teams off of 1 week at that time. But now we know who's good and who's not. We know who's legit. Of course, Ohio State, Miami, Oregon, Alabama, Texas A&M looks the part. So
Oklahoma
with John Mateer, absolutely as well. So there's a few teams that have looked the part, and now we're getting into this weekend here, and this weekend's actually stacked with some good games. You got Ohio State, Illinois. Ohio State minus 14.5. That's a lot of points. Do you think they cover that spread?
No, I think it'll be like maybe 10-9.
You think Ohio State will win? You think Ohio State wins like that low?
Yes, because again, to your point, you still have questions or concerns about the quarterback,
right?
And again, is it at Illinois or at Ohio State?
It's at Illinois, Champaign.
So that makes it a little bit more interesting and difficult for them because of the crowd, the atmosphere. You know, the fans, they're going to be stacked. In Illinois, they are coming off a tough loss to Indiana, I think a week or two. So this is their chance.
Smoked by Indiana, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, they got smoked. So my thing is, look, to take an ass whooping like that, and you're going up against a ranked team, and you're at home, if that doesn't motivate you, then I don't know what will.
All right, so I got Illinois covering the spread, but I got Ohio State winning the game. I think that's what I got. Oregon, Indiana. This is going to be a good game. Mendoza, Dante Moore. I think 7.5 is a lot of points in this game, but this Oregon offense is really, really good. So Oregon's home. Man, I don't know. That's a lot of points in a game like this. What do you think?
I have Oregon winning 40-37.
Wow, you think Indiana puts up that many points? So you
I
think
really like what I'm seeing from Mendoza in the offense.
Indiana covers the spread. Kurt Cignetti's a great coach.
Yes.
I got Indiana. I got Oregon winning this game, but I got Indiana covering the spread. Alabama, Missouri. Alabama -2.5. This could be one of those weird early games, a noon kickoff type game where Alabama could struggle early, but I still think they win this game and they cover the spread.
Is it at Missouri?
It is at Missouri. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you as well, but I still think Bama gets the victory.
Are you giving my
Kalen DeBoer so far is doing a better job on the offensive side. So I'll
after
give him
week
credit
one, everyone was giving him shit, including myself. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you giving my Gators any hope this weekend against A&M?
Is it at Gainesville?
No, it's at Texas A&M.
As long as DJ Lagway doesn't commit any turnovers, and as long as he looks sharp and consistent, Marcel Reed, the quarterback at A&M, he is spectacular, but he does struggle with the deep ball from time to time. So I may pick. I give the Floriders
to win this game, or what?
I have Florida picking them as an upset.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, that would be amazing. That would be awesome to see Florida beat Texas A&M. TAMU, Texas A&M's -7.5. It's a 7:00 game too. It's gonna be a night game. It's gonna be a good one.
Yep.
I can't really say how I feel about this one. I was very, very confident we were beating Texas this past weekend, which we did. I was very confident about that. This one here on the road, Texas A&M has looked like one of the best teams in the country. It's going to be a tough one here. This would be a huge moment for DJ Lagway to come in here, come back to his home state and making a statement. If this is any time of the season, it's now. We just beat Texas at home. Great. But now we got to turn the page and play A&M this weekend. Your game, Oklahoma, Texas. Texas is favored, as they should be, with no Mateer. I don't know a whole lot about Michael Hawkins. I'm sure you know a lot more about him.
I think he's going to play more not to lose, and he's going to allow to run the ball with the. I still have Oklahoma winning this one.
Ooh, wow.
I think people are sleeping on Oklahoma because of the defensive side of the football.
If Texas wins this game, will they be ranked? Sitting at 4-2. You would have to say yes, right?
In the 20s.
Yes.
They have to be at least in that 20s range because again, we can't ignore the Ohio State loss, and we certainly can't ignore Florida. So if they beat Oklahoma, they'll probably be in the 20s. I don't understand. I understand. Okay, Texas is the favorite because no Mateer, right. But I really do think people are sleeping on Oklahoma's offense. And here's the thing: the defense football. Like I said, they put so much pressure on Jackson Arnold, and you're seeing the struggles with Arch Manning.
Do you trust Michael Hawkins, though?
As long as he plays situational football, yes.
Okay. All right, fair. So you got Oklahoma winning this game there, and because Texas is favored. Crazy for them to be, obviously no Mateer, but crazy for them to be favored, even being unranked right now, which is crazy. Yeah, the next one you got Georgia and Auburn. Georgia's -3.5. I think Georgia covers that spread. And other than that,
yes,
I mean, those are really the big games. So outside of that, that's it for that. But I know you said you wanted to address some Super Bowl halftime show stuff. Taylor Swift, so everyone was like, Taylor Swift didn't decline the Super Bowl halftime show, and she was on Jimmy Fallon. Everyone was going crazy about that. And of course, how the new album came out. So Taylor Swift didn't actually decline the Super Bowl halftime show. But then again, like people are saying she didn't, but she didn't do it. So they offered it to her.
What she offered?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. So technically, she declined.
I can't really speak on that. I guess you're gonna have to take Taylor at her word. It just seems like a lot of hearsay, a lot of conjecture. But I have no problem with Bad Bunny. But I don't have a problem with Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl. No. Look, if you're not a fan of Bad Bunny's music, okay, fine. I understand that. You feel like you want to go with somebody else. But don't tell me that Bad Bunny does not draw or does not generate revenue. And I don't want to get too political, Joey, because again, I've gotten so much criticism from so many people. Actually, one of them even told me that Bad Bunny should be deported. And I'm like, why?
What?
Do people realize that Puerto Rico is part of the U.S.?
Well, not only that, no, do people realize that Bad Bunny's the second most streamed Spotify artist in the world? Like the is a world event. It's not just about the US. I understand people are upset because Bad Bunny speaks Spanish and a lot of people won't understand his music. But the fact that it's a world event and the NFL is
It's
trying
global,
and they're trying to bring in more people, that's not a problem. It really isn't an issue. I don't
it's
have a
about
problem with
money,
that at
it's
all.
about revenue.
And
That's the thing. And look,
people are just bitching and complaining. If somebody came to you and said, you were an artist and said, hey, you can perform on the world's biggest stage on February 9th or February 10th, whatever it is, you're not going to say no. I know you're not getting paid for it, but you're not going to say no.
what I don't understand is like, okay, fine. You may not understand Bad Bunny's music because obviously he says Spanish. I don't
Right.
understand it either.
I don't either, but I
But
love it.
hey,
I got so
but
many songs.
I love it. I got no problem with it. And look,
Neither
he's
do I.
collaborating with a lot of big artists like Drake
Yep.
and them. But I have no problem with Bad Bunny performing. But don't tell me that he doesn't belong or perform in the Super Bowl because, again, it is not just American, it's global. NFL knows that in the Super Bowl, not a lot of people tune in to watch the Super Bowl just to watch the actual game. They tune in to watch the other festivities.
Exactly.
Like, look, last year, NFL, you got a lot of Taylor Swift fans to come watch the football games. And
Yes.
and look, they only watched it because of Taylor Swift. Because anytime if the Chiefs scored a touchdown or if Travis Kelce made a spectacular play, they're gonna automatically show her. And I have no problem with that or the NFL. Now, diehard football fans are going to have a problem with it, but I don't have a problem with it from the NFL because at the end of the day, it's about marketing. It's about business. It's about doing whatever you can to make the money. And if that's what it takes, so be it. And if people are too upset about it, then shut the hell up. And the other problem that I have, I have is that there are people who say, keep politics out of sports, keep politics out of sports. I don't know if you heard, but Trump and the administration, they're asking ICE to be present at the Super Bowl. Well, Mr. President,
I saw that.
Well, Mr. President, with all due respect, aren't you contradicting yourself? Because you're saying keep politics out of sports, but you're bringing in ICE to be present at the Super Bowl.
And do they realize that most people cannot even afford to go to the Super Bowl? So like,
yes,
illegal immigrants are not going to be at the Super Bowl. So like, you're wasting time doing that. Do you see what I'm right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, they don't have enough. They can't afford to be at the Super Bowl. Obviously, by the time it's going to be huge, they're probably going to spend their time watching it at a bar or at a family or a friend's house.
What are we wasting our time doing that? Like, it's
completely pointless.
We're making the Super Bowl more about politics than we are about enjoying Bad Bunny's presence as an entertainer. Just because you don't like him as an entertainer doesn't make him a bad person. Yes, he has had his disagreements, and yes, he has said certain things about the U.S. and everything like that. But let's judge Bad Bunny off of his performance and him being an entertainer. You may not like him as an entertainer, perfectly fine, but that doesn't make him a bad person. I like Bad Bunny. I personally love Bad Bunny. I've been listening to Bad Bunny for years. I don't know all of his songs. I don't know all of his music, but I enjoy it. I don't understand everything he says, but I'm happy for it because I think he's a good
and he has rhythm.
And he's got
Joey, to your point, look, I'm quite sure not a lot of people like Kendrick Lamar, but last year's Super Bowl,
I loved Kendrick Lamar. I love Kendrick Lamar, but I didn't really like his performance that much. And that's okay. That's my opinion.
That's fine. And I have no problem with it. And for those who had a problem with Kendrick Lamar, last time I checked, 133.5 million viewers tuned in to watch the Super Bowl last year while he performed.
Yep.
Most viewers in the Super Bowl halftime shows since like what, Michael Jackson or Prince?
Probably. And like, I know there was a whole underlying message about the Super Bowl halftime show. I love Kendrick Lamar as an artist. I have listened to all of his songs. I just didn't really enjoy his performance that much. Not from the message standpoint. The more reason why I didn't enjoy it was because I like the lively aspect of like the dancing and like getting the crowd going. But it was a different type of performance. I'm not going to sit here and say, I hate Kendrick Lamar and I can't believe the NFL. No, I like Kendrick Lamar. I just didn't really enjoy last year's halftime show. And that's okay. You're not going to agree with everybody.
That's fine.
That's fine. I liked Usher and Alicia Keys' performance the year before because I like Usher. Like, I like that type of music. I love Kendrick Lamar, but I think the NFL could have picked somebody else, but that's my opinion. It doesn't make you a bad person because you don't agree with somebody on a fucking musician artist or an entertainer.
It's about
I don't know if you like Justin Bieber, but if you Justin Bieber performed and you go,
I like his music now compared to how he first came
younger.
out. I actually grew and evolved and like his music a lot more. But look, to each his own.
Exactly.
If you want to tell me if you're not a fan of Bad Bunny as an artist because you have a hard time understanding the music, you have a hard time getting to it, okay, that's fine. That's understandable. But don't tell me that he shouldn't perform in the Super Bowl. Don't tell me he doesn't draw, because that's bullshit. And for those who say that, because I told you before, there are people who actually told me, well, he should be deported. Exactly where? Where should he be deported to?
And that's the thing. People on the internet have too much power these days with social media, and they feel like, and they think they can just say anything they want. And they can say the same thing about us behind a camera. But I'll tell you, everything I say is exactly how I feel. A lot of these people don't even know what the fuck they're saying because they sound so delusional. Like they get all up in arms.
It's ignorant.
And
it's just pure. It's just pure ignorance. I mean,
they don't know
if you actually take the time,
they don't know anything about us. They just think what we're saying on social media or on a podcast thinks that defines us. No, I'm just giving you my opinion about the situation. I'm not saying I'm always right, and I'm not saying I'm always wrong. But I'm going to give you my exact opinion on how I feel. And if you don't like it, then that's on you. I can't change the way you feel about me or a certain thing that I made an opinion about.
I agree. And I just think that, look, it's okay to agree or disagree. And look, I love wrestling. I don't know if you love wrestling, WWE.
Not a big WWE guy. No, I personally don't enjoy it, but it's not, but I don't look at somebody differently because they like wrestling.
No,
it's not my thing.
Fine.
Right.
But look, the reason why I bring up this example,
yeah,
I love wrestling. I don't agree with his political viewpoints or standpoints, but I love The Undertaker. Undertaker, for those who may not know, he's a Republican, and he voted for Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Do I support President Trump? Do I agree with his political viewpoints? No, I certainly do not. Mm-hmm. But just because Undertaker is a Republican and a Trump supporter doesn't mean I'm not going to have a conversation with Taker. Same thing with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is a Trump supporter.
Doesn't make him a bad doesn't make him a bad person.
No, it doesn't necessarily. No, it doesn't make him a bad person at all. And for people, and look, a lot of people got mad because of Hulk Hogan. Remember when Hulk Hogan passed away?
Yes.
People, when he was booed on the Raw of Netflix, they thought it was because of his support for President Trump. No, if that were the case, why wasn't The Undertaker booed? Exactly. Reason why The Undertaker wasn't booed, because unlike Hogan, Taker is known for having integrity.
Yep.
Taker is well respected, admired, and revered by the wrestling community. So that's why Hogan was booed. It wasn't because of his support for President Trump. And it's okay to agree or disagree. That's fine. That doesn't necessarily make you a bad person.
No.
If you just don't like Bad Bunny's music, if you have a hard time vibing or connecting or vibing with the music, okay, that's fine. That's understandable. That's perfectly your prerogative. That's your opinion. But to say that he's not qualified to perform in the Super Bowl, considering how much he draws, the money, the revenue, the attention, it's absolutely ludicrous. And for people who have a problem with it, look, it's about business. It's about money.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, look, if there's a person that the NFL decides to perform or headline the Super Bowl, although I may not agree with his or her political viewpoints or standpoints, I understand, because it's about money.
Yep.
It's about targeting the audience. It's about drawing. Some people had a problem with Kendrick performing in the Super Bowl, but why did they put him there? Obviously, 2024, the year for Kendrick, the diss track, Not Like Us, and then, of course, culminated by winning the Grammys. So you can't knock the NFL. Business is business. It is what it is.
Exactly. No, you are 100% right. You're preaching to the choir. I get everything that you said, but yeah. So I did see. So here it is. Taylor Swift not declining the halftime show. She clarified that she didn't decline. She explained that she never received a formal offer to perform. So that's what she said last night on Fallon. She emphasized obviously Jay-Z, her relationship, and who co-produced the halftime show, that they're really close. It's rooted in her commitment to supporting Travis Kelce. So I can understand why she didn't do the halftime show. And in a perfect world,
I don't think the NFL would have had a problem with it.
I was hoping Taylor Swift was going to do the halftime show. Obviously, she isn't. She wants to support Travis Kelce. She wants to support her man, her fiance, and also too, people tend to forget she just got off the tour last year with the Eras Tour. She just dropped a new album this past or last week, Life of a Showgirl. So it's like she can breathe a little bit. She wants to try to be normal, and doing the halftime show. One, you're not getting paid. Two, it's a lot of pressure, and three, she needs a break. So I'm completely okay with her not doing it. I would have loved if she had done it, but she's not doing it. So I get it.
And that's fine for her. Look, I have no problem because obviously she's $1 billion. She doesn't need to perform in the Super Bowl for anyone to recognize or know who Taylor Swift is.
No.
I actually thought they were going to allow Cardi B to perform in the Super Bowl. That's what I previously thought. because her album, for those who may not know, when the album released, no less than 24 hours, it went platinum.
Yeah.
And no matter what you could say about Cardi B, she promotes, markets, sells, and on top of that, now she's pregnant, so you can't use that excuse because we saw Rihanna a couple of years ago in the Super Bowl perform while she was pregnant. So let's not act like that's unprecedented.
You're not wrong. The last point I wanted to make is a lot. So Taylor Swift's album obviously came out this past week, The Life of a Showgirl, and a lot of people have had their differences. Of course, like all the keyboard warriors, all the internet, warriors saying, "Oh my God, Taylor Swift's album's terrible. I can't believe this. I can't believe she released this. She put all this effort in, and she hasn't done anything with this album. It's not that good. It sounds the same." It's like, it's a different type of music. The album that she came out with was what she wanted to produce, and everyone has all these different opinions. I personally love the album. I think it's great. I'm not sure if you're a big Taylor Swift fan, but I've loved Taylor Swift for a really long time.
I listen to her music from time to time. I haven't been familiar with the album.
I really enjoy her music, but it's a different type of album, and people sitting there hating on it, they're just sitting there complaining. And she also said, she goes on an interview with Apple Music, she goes, the people like that are saying all this and all that about the album, you're just giving the album and you're giving my name more and more. Basically, the more you talk about the album, the better it does. So the people that are sitting out there and hating on the album, that's on you. I think the album's great. I love her music. I always have. And I think it was a good album. It was very funny, and she knew exactly what she was doing with this album, with the whole Travis Kelce stuff. But I was super excited. I was waiting for this album to come out. It came out, of course, on October 3rd, and there's a reason.
And let's not forget
number one.
And let's not forget, Taylor Swift is also engaged to Travis Kelce.
Exactly.
So perhaps because of the engagement, as well as all the other things that you just detailed, perhaps she just wants to take time to chill, relax, because we don't know. We're obviously not in Taylor Swift's shoes. No. We don't know what's going on with her in her mind. Maybe for once she finally decided to think for herself and decided to say, as much as an opportunity it is to perform in the Super Bowl, I have to take care of me. There may be another opportunity for me to perform in the Super Bowl. But at the end of the day,
I think she's so focused on her life and everything that she has going on, because like I said, she just got off a tour. She just dropped an album. She just got engaged. She just wants to live a normal life. She doesn't need to perform for the Super Bowl halftime show. The only reason why that people want her to perform, well, of course, we see her on the stage, but it's more for her fans anyways. And she's brought in a whole nother level of fans to the NFL because of her, but that's not really her fan base. She doesn't need to perform for the NFL. It's more for her fans more than anything, of course, but I personally don't think she needs to do it. And she declined it. Sorry, she didn't decline it. She said she was never offered. So let her promote the album. Let her do her thing. She said she's not.
It's not that big of a deal.
She's not. She said she's not going on tour anytime soon, which I get. But I'm just very happy to see her in the media. Jimmy Fallon, the radio shows that she's done. She did the Apple Music interview. Get a little glimpse into her life, because it's nice to see obviously you see the musicians and the artists perform, but to see just a little glimpse of their life, because the fans are so without the fans they're not anything.
Hey Joey, I gotta ask you this question. I know I'm digressing.
Yeah.
What did you thought about LeBron's second decision?
No, you're good. I knew it was a marketing tactic. I knew he wasn't going to retire because he's not going to retire like that. I know that he said it has nothing to do with the second son coming into the NBA. He is full of shit 100%. He is waiting for Bryce to come into the NBA. You cannot tell me any differently. JJ Redick even said, you guys thought LeBron was going to retire like that? Like that? No. Nike would be announcing it or something. No, he's waiting. He's not retiring. What did you think?
I think a lot of people thought that he was going to retire because 40 going on 41, year 22 in his career. Who knows whether the Lakers are going to win a championship or not, but LeBron does love attention. And LeBron is...
He is the king of it. He is the king of it.
He is the king of it. No question about it. He does love and crave attention. But at the same time, I'm not going to necessarily be mad at him. Hey, if Hennessy or if any other ad wants to be, I mean, of course, you got to think about the money. He's worth $1 billion. Yep. So again, it is about money. And he's still, even though he may not be the player he was, he's still in peak condition and shape. 100%. So I think this is good for LeBron's part. So I don't really have a problem with it. I think a lot of his fans were kind of sad or shocked that because they thought he was going to retire.
Yep.
But if he was actually going to retire, I don't think it would have been like in a commercial or an ad. He probably would have done it like on ESPN, like he did with the decision with Jim Gray.
My friend sent this to me and he said, "Oh my gosh, like I'm like, he's not retiring. Hold your horses. It's just it's nothing important. There was no way he was going to do that. But when it comes, it's coming eventually. We don't know when because like with LeBron, it's like you just never know with him. Like it'll be a big ordeal, 100%.
Absolutely.
Well, that's it, guys. That does it for us on the Inquisitive Mamba podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode. It was a pleasure to have SportsPSP on the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think we had a great conversation with one another talking about the NFL with the recap, the sports entertainment stuff, the Taylor Swift new album, Bad Bunny's halftime show, a lot of college football we talked. We talked about the Mac Jones situation there, Drake May's rise in the NFL, the upcoming games this weekend. So, as always, guys, make sure to follow the Inquisitive Mamba podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Make sure to follow SportsPSP on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. He's always putting out content as well. But as always, guys, it's always Mamba mentality. And hopefully my Yankees beat the Blue Jays tonight and make this a series and we go Game 5. And how about that guy, Aaron Judge, the MVP of the Major League Baseball Association. We'll see you guys next week.